Welcome to Iraqi Dinar Update, your go-to source for the latest news, expert insights, and real-time developments on Iraq's currency, economy, and financial reforms. Whether you're a long-time investor or just curious about the dinar, you're in the right place. The discussion around Iraq's journey toward full economic and monetary sovereignty is filled with milestones, setbacks, and intricate dynamics involving internal politics, regional interference, and international oversight. For a long time, many of Iraq's economic problems were directly or indirectly tied to Iran's pervasive influence within Iraq's political and financial institutions. Iranian-backed political groups and militias operated inside Iraq with relative impunity, influencing both policy and security conditions in ways that hindered meaningful progress. The political influence of Iran not only obstructed the Iraqi central bank's independence, but also disrupted the broader institutional framework necessary for reform. Iran's grip on certain parts of the Iraqi economy, even using Iraq's banking sector for sanctions evasion, deepened mistrust among international actors and delayed Iraq's path to reform. However, in more recent months and years, there has been a clear pivot. Thanks to rising international pressure, internal resistance to foreign manipulation, and a greater push for sovereignty and national dignity, Iraq has taken steps to secure its borders, both physically and economically. Security forces have clamped down on militia activity, and there is now a growing consensus among Iraqi policymakers that long-term stability can only be achieved if foreign influence, particularly from Iran, is curtailed. This shift has been one of the defining features of Iraq's slow but steady emergence into a more secure and self-determined era. With security and political stability now firmly on the agenda, the conditions for economic reform have become more favorable. For the first time in years, the environment allows for long-stalled projects to resume and new visions for economic restructuring to be entertained. A crucial part of this vision is the reform of the Iraqi dinar and the broader monetary system in which it functions. Much of this responsibility falls on the shoulders of the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, which, despite being nominally independent, has been historically vulnerable to political interference. But today, there's a new actor working behind the scenes, the eighth floor, a reference to the U.S. Treasury's permanent office located within the CBI building in Baghdad. The presence of the U.S. Treasury on the eighth floor of the CBI is a strategic one. It symbolizes not just oversight, but a form of guardianship aimed at guiding the Iraqi banking system toward compliance with international standards. The U.S. has made it clear that Iraq must embrace anti-money laundering (AML) policies, combat terror financing, increase transparency, and adopt full digital traceability for financial transactions. These requirements are non-negotiable for Iraq's integration into the global financial system, and the eighth floor has become a hub for this transformation. With the U.S. Treasury's experts working side by side with Iraqi financial leaders, there is now a dual command structure that is far more rigorous, efficient, and accountable than in years past. Some may see this American involvement as heavy-handed, but in reality, it is one of the key reasons why Iraq has been able to resist falling back into the economic chaos that once plagued it. The new system being enforced is making it increasingly difficult for smuggling, corruption, and black market activities to continue unchecked. As banks are now required to comply with SWIFT protocols and digital audit trails, the pressure on bad actors is immense. The international community, including institutions like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank, has taken note of Iraq's progress. Yet while the top-tier systems are aligning with international standards, one massive problem remains unsolved: the issue of the dinar matrices. The phrase dinar matrices refers to the enormous volume of Iraqi dinar currency that is not circulating within the banking system but rather hoarded by citizens in their homes. This practice is not simply cultural. It is the result of deep-seated distrust in Iraq's banking sector, a legacy of decades of war, sanctions, bank collapses, hyperinflation, and theft. For generations, Iraqi citizens have felt that their money is safer under their mattress than inside a government-controlled bank. They fear devaluation, asset freezes, corruption, or simply being unable to access their funds when they need them. While understandable, this behavior has unintended macroeconomic consequences. When large quantities of currency are stored outside the formal financial system, the central bank is handicapped. It cannot accurately measure the real monetary supply, nor can it apply policy tools such as interest rate adjustments, lending programs, or capital investment initiatives with precision. The hoarded dinar becomes dead money. It does not participate in the credit cycle, does not support lending to businesses, and does not generate interest or economic output. Essentially, the more money that is stuffed under mattresses, the weaker Iraq's formal economy becomes. The longer citizens hold back their money, the longer Iraq will delay its monetary reform objectives, chief among them, introducing a new exchange rate that reflects the true value of the dinar. The central bank wants to de-dollarize the economy, reduce dependence on cash transactions, and increase the velocity of money within Iraq. But none of this is possible unless confidence is restored to such a degree that citizens willingly return their hoarded currency to the banks. This may be why many in the financial reform community believe that the dinar mattresses are the final major obstacle. Once that cash enters the banks, liquidity increases, lending resumes, foreign investment picks up, and the central bank has the tools it needs to revalue the dinar and peg it more accurately to global markets. The U.S. Treasury can only do so much. It can guide and enforce, but it cannot force Iraqi citizens to trust their own system. That part must come from within, from a sense of national pride, from visible economic results, and from real security on the ground. In summary, Iraq's monetary reform has progressed from a chaotic, externally influenced system to one that is increasingly controlled, secure, and ready to take its place on the world stage. Iran's grip has loosened. American guidance is now embedded at the highest levels. Transparency is increasing, and international confidence is growing. But if the dinar doesn't come out from under the mattresses and enter the banks, all this progress will stall. The true battle now is not with Iran, not with terrorists, and not with political factions. It is with the invisible wall of mistrust between Iraqi citizens and their financial system. Only by breaking down that wall can the new era of economic reform truly begin. Thanks for tuning in to Iraqi Dinar Update. If you found this content helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a beat on Iraq's evolving financial landscape. Stay informed and stay ready.